Welcome back. Good morning, and welcome back to our first Thursday edition of Good Morning KU for this fall semester.
Yeah, we're so excited. This is the first Thursday edition of Good Morning KU, but it also does fall on a little bit of a somber day. This is the 13th anniversary of the 9/11 attacks, not only on the World Trade Center, but also on the Pentagon and in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, and I feel like a lot of people often forget about the Pentagon attacks and the plane that went down in Pennsylvania. It's just a lot of the graphics I saw on Instagram and Twitter this morning were all about, the World Trade Center. And don't get me wrong, that's great.
Right.
But we also need to remember those who lost their lives in the Pentagon and in that plane that went down in Pennsylvania.
And I know we have a great graphic. When we walked in this morning, we saw this graphic we have for 9/11. We think it's really great because it encompasses all three of those places on 9/11, not only the World Trade Center, but also the Pentagon and Pennsylvania. So we really love that.
I know, it's really great. I'm glad they created that.
Yeah, and I know, Katie, you had an awesome opportunity this summer. You were working in the Capitol in Washington, D.C., and they have a 9/11 memorial in the Capitol, right?
Yeah, so it's in the front of the Capitol, and one of the things I did is I gave tours to constituents, and that was probably my favorite place to go on the tour because before we were in first grade when the attacks happened, so we couldn't really get a feel for what it was really like then. So, but being there and just taking people, I don't know if you call it a plaque, it takes up a whole wall. It just really put things in perspective for me because I could not imagine what it would have been like if a plane were to hit the Capitol now today. Thousands of tourists go through there, our countries run there, it just makes me so much more grateful for those people who took down that plane in Pennsylvania and saved thousands and thousands of lives, and they really need to be
Yeah,
they're true heroes. I think.
And, it still gives me chills.
Oh,
every
I get
time I hear
goosebumps
those
every time I
9/11
talk
stories.
about
Yeah.
it. So
it's cool to remember that not only the people that we lost at the World Trade Center, but also the brave people on the Pennsylvania flight, and I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
And we've both been to New York, I know, and been to the 9/11 memorial at Ground Zero, and that also just it puts things in perspective. That's a very, very cool memorial.
Yeah, if anybody is ever in New York City, go visit that memorial because it really makes you think about how large of a scale it really was. And my parents were there, so I know a little bit about it, but being there and seeing it all in person, it makes it clearer, I guess.
Exactly.
And you're more thankful, and you want to hug your family a little bit closer.
Right.
So.
But on a little bit of a lighter note, not that much lighter, but all this election drama has finally come to a close officially for the second time. We officially know who the Senate election has gone to, and Grow KU is officially our student senate for this year.
Morgan Said and Miranda Wagner are our new president and vice president, respectively. So I hope we can put the past election behind us and move forward and see what great things they can do for us.
They have a lot of great things in store. I know there's an article in the UDK today about Morgan Said really wants to focus on the sexual assault policy that she had begun talking about last year. I know that's a very big deal in the past few weeks, so that's definitely something to keep an eye on in the next few weeks. Those talks.
Yeah. So we're so happy to be back, and we will be right back with our guest.
Welcome back. I'm Coralu, and here we have our special guest, Erok Johansson, and he is one of 4 founders of Seedco Harvest, and he's also the artist who will perform on the event on September 13th. So, Erok, it's nice to be here.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah. So, tell us about this event. How did you start your Seedco?
So Seedco started in 2008. And it started through the Fresh Produce Art Collective. And we'd had a couple venues around town, and we'd moved all the way up to this new warehouse out on the east side 2 years ago and founded Seedco because the building that was there was originally a seed company, so it made sense to do that. And we'd been in that spot for 2 years, and due to city code we had to move, so we're opening up a new spot September 13th, so we wanted to bring everybody out to see where the new space is.
I know this event, it will have about like 8 bands and 8 live bands and also 21 visual artists. So if I go to this event, what I'm expecting to see?
It's going to be all kinds of stuff going on. So we'll have 8 bands like you mentioned. We'll have an acoustic stage set up, so there'll be 2 different places people will be performing. I'll be doing live art, and then also the studios will be open for people to come in and take a look. So each individual artist will have a setup, and you can kind of go see what kind of stuff that they work on.
Okay. Could you give us some examples, like what kinds of music would ask to be here, or like what kind of art will we see?
You're going to see a wide variety of stuff. We have a doo-wop band, a lot of kind of indie rock style stuff, some acoustic stuff, and as far as visuals, we have oil painters, acrylic painters, mixed media artists, sculptures, textiles, really anything you can imagine.
So where is this event, and when will, I mean, I mentioned before it's September 13th, but what time should we be there?
It goes from 4 to 11, and it's going to be located between 8th and 9th on Delaware. The whole street will be shut off, and we'll have vendors out there with food, and then Free State Beer is bringing some beer, so everybody
cool.
likes that.
All right. Do you have any plans for next year or rest years?
It's kind of loose right now since we're moving studios. That's kind of been our main focus, was getting into the new space and getting this festival going, and that's been a lot of work, but the people at Tequila Creek have been awesome doing all the organization and promotion and putting it on. So yeah, really for the next year, we're looking at First Fridays in Kansas City. We just opened up a space up there, and then we always do Final Fridays here in town.
Okay. So have you ever had this kind of events before?
We haven't had any one of this size. The Warehouse Arts District, where we're located, did a food truck fest back in May, and that went really, really well. So we have some experience of doing things on this scale, but we weren't the actual organizers of that one.
Okay, so it's
but we feel
basically
confident
like
it's
yeah. So basically, it's like the first one, though.
Yeah.
Okay, so how many people are you expecting to show up?
We're hoping between 1,500 and 2,000.
Okay.
And it's for charities. We're doing it for Van Gogh and for Healthy Sprouts. So all proceeds go to them.
Okay.
So it's $8 if you book pre at seedcoharvest.com.
Okay.
And you can also find us on Facebook at Seedco Harvest Festival. And then it's $10 at the gate the day of the event.
Okay. So cool. Thanks for being here today.
Yeah, well,
and
thanks for having me.
Please go to the Seedco event on September 13th, and we'll be back with the news segment.
Where you go to college makes a statement about you. This place will become a part of you, your identity for life. The University of Kansas, a great place to be you.
Good morning, I'm Nick Lewis.
And I'm Shannon Foster. This is your Thursday Good Morning KU News Update. A law enforcement official sent the elevator video of Ray Rice to an NFL executive back in April. According to the Associated Press, he also played a voicemail for them from an NFL office confirming that they received it. Although the NFL is denying this information, they hired former FBI Director Robert Mueller III to investigate the issue. Overseeing the investigation are New York Giants owner John Mara and Pittsburgh Steelers owner Art Rooney.
Oscar Pistorius was found guilty of negligence in the death of his girlfriend, but not guilty of premeditated murder. The judge decided there wasn't enough evidence to convict him. She recessed the court until Friday without saying the final verdict, leaving the possibility of culpable homicide or manslaughter conviction.
2 more victims died yesterday afternoon from the attacks in Kansas City last Tuesday. George and Ann Taylor were found unconscious inside their home after being allegedly attacked by Brandon Howe. Howe is charged with 5 counts of murder and remains in Jackson County Jail without bond.
Grow KU presidential candidate Morgan Said and vice presidential candidate Miranda Wagner won Tuesday and Wednesday's student senate re-election. Said and Wagner plan to take over student senate next Wednesday after the Elections Commission certifies the results. Once in office, they hope to continue conversation over the university's policies on sexual assault.
The Kansas City Royals beat the Detroit Tigers 3-0 last night. After losing the 2 previous games in the series, the Royals now lead the AL Central Division by just 1 game. They face the Boston Red Sox tonight in Kauffman Stadium.
Freshman Svetoslav Mikhailuk finally arrived on campus and spoke with the media yesterday. Being in America for the third time, Svi, as he liked to be called, expressed his excitement for the upcoming season. Boot camp conditioning begins on Monday, and late night in the fog is October 10th.
Well, that will wrap it up for today's news update. Stay tuned, and after the break, Caitlin and Riley will be back with the weather.
Welcome back. We are here with Riley with KU News weather update. How's it looking outside, Riley?
It's looking pretty good right now. It's actually a little chilly. I'm kind of anxious to get off this roof, but it's about mid 50s right now. It should warm up a little throughout the day, and it'll be a nice day today.
That's good. So you said it's going to warm up a little bit. Hopefully it'll get a little sunnier. How's the rest of the day looking and kind of tonight?
Tonight's looking like it'll drop down. It'll be a little colder tonight, but should warm up a little bit by this weekend, and it'd be a great weekend to have some football here, but sadly we're away at Duke, so.
Great. Well, hopefully, the sun peeks out a little bit, and that is all we have for you today. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you back here tomorrow at 10 a.m.